getting started. I just got to get the link out to the text notification squad, and then we shall go forward from there. When you come in, say hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you? Hello. All right. So, hello. When you come in, just say hello. I'm going to get the link out. We are looking for Bachelor number 3. We're going to talk about everything that is going on, and then we will get right into everything. So, oops, what is this? Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh. Hi, everyone. Hello. All right, so people are coming in, and I'm getting ready to get the link out, and then we shall go from there. Hey, I see Paula's in the house. Hi. All right. All right. And then that has been sent out. Let's go ahead and get the notifications out on Telegram. So if you want to get notifications when I go live, the links are in the description. That way you never miss another live video. And you can be here with us in the building. All right. We're going to get live on every platform. So let's go ahead and get that party started. All right. We are live on Twitch. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And we're live on LinkedIn. And of course, we're live on YouTube. That notification just went out. So the text notification squad should be coming in. Go ahead and throw up your 1010s when you get a moment. And then let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about what's going on and what's happening, how we're going to move forward, etc. All right. So I'm going to give you all a few moments to come in. Let me introduce myself. I am your host, Tonya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves as well as one another, right? So on this channel, typically we use viral video topics as teachable moments. Solenancy is saying you need to talk to me. Hit me up on my website. Daryl is saying I missed your phone call. I was busy. Who are you talking? Who are you talking to? All right. So let's speak. Let's talk. So typically, Daryl, I don't know who it is that you're looking for. Are you talking about me? Right? Are you talking about me? All right. All right. So let's talk. Let's talk. All right. So I'm your host, Tonya TKO. We typically use viral topics, and in the viral videos that we do, we highlight because so in 2018, YouTube did this massive overhaul, and they changed the algorithm so that if you weren't talking about popular topics, your videos just would not be found. I had 100,000 subscribers. My videos would get, I used to do lessons with the board. You all remember the whiteboard. And we used to really dive into different ways to talk about boundaries and getting therapy and different ways to heal, etc. But hit me on my website, Sola. And so in 2018, YouTube did a massive overhaul so that if you were not talking about topics that were being searched, the game here on YouTube for people of color, for women of color, for women and especially Black women, it is a very tricky situation here, right? And so in 2018, against my desire, I started talking about popular topics. For those of you who have been with me since 2018, you remember John Gray versus Derek Jackson. Those were some of the first videos that I started talking about popular topics. And from there until now, that has been pretty much what it is that we have been doing. I have recently wanted to create a shift on the channel so that we can um, not just be pointing out what's wrong in relationships and what's not going right, but actively work on creating behind the scenes coaching and coaching groups and retreats so that we can work on doing the healing on the inside. As well as in 2020 I started my certification process to become a matchmaker, and I realized that my best my best efforts would not be spent behind the scenes trying to match people, but to do a show like this. And long story short, um we did 2 episodes of the Love TKO show. Well, we did 3 episodes. I was on the first one, and then 2 episodes we had 2 different guys. The first one, she brought the guy. The second one, I brought the guy. She and I have been talking about doing a public, matchmaking show for years, since 2021, I believe, right? As you all know, on the last show, she was at the airport and she had to fly out, and I was left doing the consultation myself. And there were some incongruencies that I heard in some of the answers towards the latter part, and I focused on those because I really wanted to understand more about where this gentleman's head was at, so that you all can know where his head was at. There were some people in the comments who were being very vicious. One person was telling untruths about the person on the love seat. And to make a long story short, um, the night before last, she quit the show. She quit the show. She said that she felt that that she wouldn't feel comfortable bringing her clients up here. Um, the comments were very vicious, and she said negative, and there were some other things that were said and expressed, but the basic gist is that she did not feel that the platform aligned with her brand. And so she quit the show Saturday. Yesterday, I did a video, a call to action, looking for marriage minded men. Somebody said that I should really kind of focus on commitment ready men. And so I'm an entrepreneur through and through, right? So I'm used to setbacks. I'm used to having to be innovative. I'm used to pivoting. And so that is not the issue, right? Um, that's not the issue. So nonetheless, so we're just going to continue to move forward. And listen, I believe in what it is that we're doing, right? I believe in what it is that we're doing. I believe that we're better together. I believe that there are a lot of good people out there who are I believe there are a lot of good people out there who are just having missed connections. and that we can help people connect. I believe that. I believe that we can help people connect. I saw someone say the trolls ruined it. You know, I don't want to say too much, right? I don't want to say too much, but I'll probably say a little bit more later. But yeah, so I don't want to say that I don't want to say that trolls ruined the show. I think that, like somebody said, probably just wasn't meant to be, not in that way. I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you. You all remember my friend the bear, right? I haven't told this story. I haven't told this story publicly, but I'm going to tell the story now. You all remember my friend the bear. We had been friends since 2005, right? Really, really close. The bear was he is, I really don't know anymore, but he was a high six figure or lower six figure, or mid, 3/4 way six figure earner, right? And this was, after the crash that we had in 2008. Because he worked in banking, his girl was pregnant, right? And he needed me to lend him some money. I lent him several $1,000s, several, right? There were some things that took place that over the years he paid me back, but there were some subscriptions and some payments and stuff that were left unpaid for, which accrued all of these penalties and charges and all of this other stuff, where he ended up owing me $3,000, right? From the amount that he paid back, he ended up owing me $3,000. When I traveled the world, I went to California, left my car there, then I went to go travel the world, right? When I to write my book. When I came back, oh, that wasn't the story I wanted to tell. I'm sorry. I'm 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 distracted by my own internal grief, right? So I'll say this. In 2012 or 2011, 2010, one of those, I needed him to pay me back the money, right? And he wasn't really in a position to be able to pay me back the money. And I mean, it was because of that friend that I ended up actually living in my car when I went back to California after after trying to find a place to write my book in Latin America. But I'll say this, right? In 2010, 2011, I needed him to pay me back the money, and he wasn't prepared to pay me back, or I really don't know. Lending people money is easy for them, but paying it back, always seems difficult. But nonetheless, I had an expo that was coming up, and I needed the money because expos are very expensive because you have to go to the expos with product, and my products were handmade. So it requires a tremendous amount of money to buy all of the raw materials and all of the jars and bottles and all of the stuff, the setup and the move in and the cost of the expo and all of that stuff, right? And so I needed him to pay me back the money so that I could go to this expo and be able to sell out, right? Not sell out, but be able to sell my product there because the expo is a once a year thing where you go out and you show out, right? And he wasn't prepared to pay me back the money. And I was devastated for a moment, right? And I had to brainstorm, what can I do? What can I do? How do I pivot? And I thought about the problem that I had. And the problem that I had was I don't have the money to buy all of the raw materials that I want to get for the expo. But I've already paid for the expo and I'm going to be there. So what can I do? And that was when I had the idea to show people what the products could do. because you all know, I mean, my skin is beautiful, yes, because I use natural products on my skin, and I still have a very small amount of TKO skin products left, which I use very sparingly, right? And the idea that who knows what it is that I came up with. I decided, since I wouldn't be able to get the customers at the expo, I would need to be able to get them to want to reach out to me after the expo, because once the expo is over, it's over. So I'm going to show you all this, right? Let me see if it's even still on Google, right? I'm going to see if it's still on Google. I'm Googling the words TKO skin. I'm Googling the word TKO skin, right? Here we go. Here we go. For those of you who know, you know what it is that I did. I went and I did a photo shoot, right? And the photo shoot that I did produced these images, right? They produced these images that I decided to put on flyers, right? So that is me. That was me about 10 years ago, right? And as you see, my skin is absolutely flawless. That is an unairbrushed picture, right? And so, give me 1 second. I'm in the wrong screen. All right. And so I decided, I pivoted and I said, you know what? Let me do a photo shoot. And from that photo shoot, I was like, I'm going to show people how well the products work, right? So I did this photo shoot and it was a hit. I did the photo shoot and I had a banner that was made 4 feet by, I think it was 4 feet by 12 feet, hoisted in the air. It was 4 feet by 8 feet. It was a large photo of me in the nude, right? And I hoisted it 12 feet up into the air. And my father was there and he was cooking these coconut treats. I wonder if I can find any images from I wonder if I could find any images from the doggone expo. The images are somewhere. Let me see. Here's my TKO Skin Facebook page. I don't use it anymore. It's an old page. But yeah, look at this. So there's old photos on here. Oh my goodness. Or the before and afters. This is the good old, oh, it's asking me to log in. Well, the expo photos are in there somewhere, right? But nonetheless, so my father was cooking these treats and I had this big banner up in the air. Oh, look at me from 10 years ago. Oh, look at this chocolatey skin. Oh, what? That was October, so it was after the summer. That's what I'm talking about. So nonetheless, right? Oh, these were the good old days. Oh. So nonetheless, right? So I had to pivot. And I had this photo in the air. My father was cooking these treats, the coconut treats, and the smell and the banner brought people from miles around. I collected thousands of people for my for my I collected thousands of people for my mailing list, right? And that was how I pivoted. I had to be innovative. I had to think. I collected thousands of people for the mailing list. And then I wrote to them and they were happy to get the product, right? They saw what it did for my skin and they were happy to get the product, right? What? The food I'm eating doesn't taste the same now. I'm distracted. Eyes, purple crying, that body, Lord have mercy. Nonetheless, right? Nonetheless. And so and so and so I had to pivot. And so this is another time in my life where we have experienced a tremendous setback and it's time to pivot. How do we pivot from here? Because I believe in what it is that we're doing. I believe that we're doing the right thing. I am I'm proud of the videos that I create. I have no qualms with myself and the videos I create. You know, I'm proud of what it is that we do here, and there are people on the internet who are vicious. Yes, this is the nature of the internet. There are ways that we can figure out, right? there are ways we can figure out how to move forward. So we're here together, me, you, my little baby's kids, who chased our matchmaker away, right? But we're here. And you know what the thing is? This is what I was going to say earlier that I said I'll say more about it. In a moment of self-reflection and really just trying to figure out why that evening went the way that it did. You know, I was vulnerable, I opened up, and I pontificated with you all about myself, about the culture of the channel, etc. And those sentiments, the things that I opened up with about and was vulnerable about in self-reflecting, putting things out there, just in a moment of vulnerability after, you know, disappointment with the ways that things went, right? Those things were then said back to me and used against me. That's pretty much how that went, right? But nonetheless, and lesser than none, we are here and we are together. And we are going to brainstorm on how to move forward. This is what the issue is, right? The issue is that it is difficult to get men because of ego and all sorts of things. It's difficult to get men to sign up for matchmaking. That is a challenge in and of itself. I'm going to be honest with you. Most matchmakers, their database is filled primarily with women. Also, there were some people here who had said some things about, there were some people that said some things about she that she felt very sensitive about, right? There were people who were questioning her business, etc., and did not she didn't like the way that was. She didn't like that. But nonetheless, right? Nonetheless. Um so the challenge is that it's difficult to get men to sign up for matchmaking, right? That's challenge number 1, right? The second challenge is it's difficult to get men who have signed up for matchmaking to come live on the air and, you know, and be vulnerable and open themselves up, right? How do we get around those challenges, right? No, there was nothing negative about Chi. Chi is a sweetheart and I loved her energy on the show, but people were questioning her business because um it was difficult to get men up here, right? It's different and people, and one of the I don't want to talk too much about the behind the scenes conversation, but people were questioning her business and she didn't appreciate that or the energy of it. And I take responsibility for my platform, and so, you know, I take responsibility for the comments. And so that just is the way that it is. Who is spamming the comments? I don't see anybody spamming. Who's the person spamming that needs to be blocked? I don't see anybody by that name commenting, but if I see it, so all of you can block that person. I don't know how the person is able to comment if I'm not able to see their comments. So um yeah, I don't see the person commenting. Are you seeing the comments on the screen? Um she will most likely not be back. She will most likely not be back. So we have to figure out another way. We have to figure out a way with the challenges that we have. So the challenges that we have is we have a challenge with finding men to and men do need the most help, which is very interesting. The person that I see commenting is someone named Thelonious, And you're going to be the one that's going to be put in the timeout if you are continuing to spam the comments. That's what I'm seeing, right? So I mean you all can watch the last Love TKO show if you choose and go from there, right? I'm not seeing what it is that you all are seeing. Right? Let me refresh. I'm going to refresh the chat area and see because um I'm not seeing what you all are seeing. So I'm refreshing it and see if I see what you see so that I can move from there. But yeah, so that is that. So I spent yesterday because this was very last minute for me. And so I spent yesterday, here. There we go. So that person has been blocked. I'm not doing the fanfare, right? So Marshall wants to know, can you volunteer people? Can you volunteer men or can you volunteer matchmakers? I spent much of yesterday, just networking with other matchmakers and seeing who has guys that they can bring on the show today. And so I just really didn't have enough time with it just being, one day to be able to prepare. I didn't have enough time, but I do feel optimistic. I do feel optimistic that And so S. Hunter says, I don't like matchmaking. It's ineffective. The more you push for love, the more you never find it. That's actually very false. Matchmakers are as old as the dawn of civilization. Matchmakers have been around, and this is how people get the best matches actually through matchmakers because matchmakers have, and especially a good matchmaker. And you know what? As a matter of fact, the Jewish community, it's a given. They have a name for what a match. They have a name for it in the Jewish community. And so in the Jewish community, there's a person that is familiar with people because young people need to get together, young adults need to get together, people need to connect families, and people need to connect people who have similar goals and direction. Where it is that we are now, we do not live in small communities with in town matchmakers to connect us all. We live in a worldwide community. So the person who says that it's ineffective is actually quite false. Oh yes, Indian people too. And so people with the highest marriage rates are actually who actually come from cultures where matchmaking is quite normal, right? So yeah, so no, it's actually very effective and it's actually the way to go. And so and someone is saying East African cultures too. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Exactly. So, that's how it's done. That is how it's done in other cultures, and it's very effective. Um, so yeah. So listen, let's just continue to move forward. Let's just pivot, right? And so Psychedelic is saying, I think Tanya was right to ask that last guy about kitten heels. As Black women, we need to beware of Black men who subscribe to harmful misogynistic beliefs. Joanna says, I was matched by my mother-in-law. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, you know what? I think that the kitten heels, red pill, manosphere questions are very valid. And I think that it's important to see how a person feels about the toxic misogyny, misogynoir that is running rampant. because from those answers, so many other things are answered under that umbrella, right? Under the umbrella of asking about the manosphere. And you know what? I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. When questions are answered earnestly and forthrightly, there's no reason to stay on a subject. And part of the reason that we stayed on that subject, um, part of the reason that we stayed on that subject for so long is because the question wasn't being answered. It wasn't being answered forthrightly. It wasn't being answered uh, openly, and so that helped. That forced us to stay on it, or I just wasn't understanding the answer, or something like that. So nonetheless, so let's continue to move forward. Let's continue to move forward. How do we pivot from here? How do we pivot? What is the next logical step for us? I'm going to continue to pound the pavement, talking to matchmakers, and I'm thinking some of the ideas that I have are having a show with rotating matchmakers who come forward to present the men from their database on the program, right? And that's one of my ideas. You know what? Let me open up the phone line. I'm going to open up the phone line. Here we go. 323-488-3149. The chat is off of the screen. If you want to send a message through, you can send it through Cash App. And you can send it through Cash App. The Cash App is just like my name on the screen, except it's $ Tonya TKO. And you can do that and we can go from there. So phone lines are open. I want to hear some of your ideas and how you think a matchmaking show done live can work. How can we make this work? Instead of thinking about how things won't work or how things are going bad and how things are wrong and all of this other stuff. The comments are off of the screen, so we're just going to continue to move forward that way. Some people are just, attention hungry and all of that. So we're just going to move forward the way that we move forward, right? And you know what? So this is the thing. That gentleman did. He actually got several submissions that that I am weeding through right now. So yeah, there are women who were very interested in him. And so, one of the things that I learned is that a person doesn't have to be perfect. They're going to be people. So listen, so this is one of the dilemma that I have, right? I have an excellent sense of discernment, right? I'm able to weed through BS, weed through lies, and weed through problematic things because I'm a trained life coach, right? I am able to really ask poignant questions, ask poignant follow-up questions, etc., right? And so I have that ability. However, that ability has also kept me single. Kept me single except for the people, the men who have been able to really answer questions and be the cream of the crop, really above the fray. Those are the people who are able to get past my filter, right? But I realized people don't have to be perfect. People just have to be a good match for someone else. And people will grow in relationships, right? And so Bowie is saying, if we all had this skill, so many men wouldn't stand a chance. Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, right? And so Miss is saying, I think you should talk to other matchmakers behind the scenes to get a feel for how to move forward. What I've learned is it's rough out there and expectations are sometimes unrealistic. Bowie is saying, or is it Bunny? I thought it looked like Bowie. Says, my husband feels like a miracle. You know what? And so this is the thing. I feel like when it's right, it's right. You know what I mean? I feel like when it's right, it's right. And that goes for so many different things. That goes for friendships, for jobs, for relationships, for so many different things. So call in 323-488-3149. I'd love to hear from one of you. I need somebody to test the phone line for me to just make sure that the phone line is working. I appreciate all of you. Listen, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. You know, there are some people who may not understand what it is that we do on this channel, but for those of you, you diehard knockouts, the ones who have been here, and you understand what we do on this channel, I just wanted to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Lolita says, when you work mental health, it's very hard not to evaluate the person. I feel you on that. So Angeline sends $2 and says, for on time Monday. That's so cute. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me give you some hearts. All right. So phone lines are open. I need someone to test the phone lines for me. Icon says, I love your ability to weed through BS. I like how you are vetting men for other women. In times like these, especially Black women, we need this type of ability. Black women being toe tagged. Exactly. You know, it's like there's a lot of things going on out there. And I'm telling you, my filter, my area of discernment has kept me single most of my adult life. It's also helped me be able to avoid an abusive relationship. It helps me avoid toxic relationships. Like I don't get into those. I've not been in those relationships where my man is calling me a B and I'm calling him a N and all MF and all this other stuff, and we screaming and breaking stuff up and all. I have not been in those relationships. You're on Your Live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Stuff
Hello.
like that. The how thing. And that's what she'll teach them. I have a number of things I teach guys. John.
All right. So we have a person who apparently was calling in to, I don't know, troll or whatnot. But I guess the phone line is working. I guess it's working. I guess it's working. All right. So we are looking for you can call in with any thoughts that you have about matchmaking, about show ideas. It has definitely kept me safe. It's kept me safe when I've traveled around the world. It's kept me safe in relationship. It has, but you know what? Another thing is it has kept me child free. It has kept me from joining my DNA with another person's DNA and being stuck in that toxic pattern with a person whom I really do not want to be connected to for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So Lula is saying a private audience would be better than an open audience. It might help with dating shows and to gather people to join the tech squad. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. What do you all think about private audience? How would we do something like that? So we would do like a private show and then we would just have like Tech Squad come, but Zoom only allows 100 people to be able to Zoom only allows 100 people to connect. So what do we do about that? How do we work around that? Around the 100-person maximum that they have on Zoom. How do we work around that? And so, another thing is, I'll say this. I think that if women were more discerning, if women thought more with their logical mind, if women vetted better, most of the people on earth wouldn't be here. We would probably have 10,000 people on earth. Most men would not have access to reproducing. But people are young and dumb and they just do foolishness. So you all do not like the private idea. Let me answer this call before I bring them live on the air because we have a troll acting crazy. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from? Oh, hold on. I had to take, I turned all the volume down. Hold on. I gotta turn the volume back up. All right. Yeah, thank goodness. So we have a person who's trolling today for some reason. They're obsessed with us and they just won't let it go for some reason. They just won't let it go and I don't know why. But look, I'm game. Let's see.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. So it's like it ain't no fun, right?
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach
Mm-hmm.
has a voicemail box.
Yeah. This like what type of person, like these people out here are just with not very much to do. Um Look. Paired says they're addicted to my aura. I feel you. I feel you. Start your own database of eligibles. The fact that men have the time and audacity. LOL at Tanya calling him back. Yeah, so the phone lines are open. The number is across the screen. Perhaps somebody can call and so that this other person can get a busy signal when they try to call in. So yeah, so that is maybe start with a bachelorette first. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And I can explain to you, can anybody imagine why it does not work with starting with a bachelorette? It just doesn't work with the bachelorette. It's a lot easier to match women to men than men to women. Because what ends up happening with most matchmakers is they have databases filled with women with very few men to choose from. Diana says she's not seeing the comments. The comments were taken off of the screen because we have a troll in here today. So I just decided to just opt out. If there's somebody who wants to send a message through, they can send it through Cash App so that way the troll could just do it that way, right? So there's some apples that have come in. Paulina sends $5 for support. Megan sends $2 for moving forward. Yep, exactly. So moving forward, precisely. And Mrs. W says men are not going to call in for bachelorettes. Roxy says men are supposed to lead. Sonia says there are more single women. I think women are more discerning. Relationships work better when women are the ones who choose. When men choose, they choose horribly. They choose horribly. Men choose with their eyes and with their nether region. So it just they yeah. So nonetheless, phone lines are open 323-488-3149. And so it's just a lot easier to match to the men because then you know what it is that you're looking for rather than having all of these great women sitting there waiting for a match and the match is not there. We need to bring the men in. We need to network. We need to look into our database. We need to look into our Rolodex. For those of you who remember Rolodexes. And so Icon is saying, I love the show on TikTok. It's smooth and easy to get men and women calling in. And so the issue is, so this is the issue. There's another issue, another layer on top of that, right? I don't want just an entertaining show where people call in and they are really not ready for commitment. They're not serious. they're just looking to put their face out there or create some sort of viral moment. I'm interested in really creating real, true connection, right? And there are different ways that you do that, right? One of the things that we do that's mandatory on this show is each person has to submit to a background check. They have to consent to a background check. That's one. And so they have to pay for their background check, and that is two. Once you get money on the line, people then take things a lot more serious. Like if I just had it open, I could just like how this person is calling back to back to back. There's nothing to stop a person like that from who's trolling. So that's one, right? And two. And three is have you ever been networking and you get a bunch of people's business cards or phone numbers or IG names, etc.? What do you do with those business cards and the IG names and all of that stuff? What do you do with it? I'm going to give you all the opportunity to answer. What do you do with it? And Mufin, oh gosh, Mufin is back. Mufin, weren't you blocked? And then you came back with a different name and got blocked again? And so now you're back with the name Mufin? And you say more women are in school because schools market more to women? That is false. That's false. There are more women in school because schools used to be a lot different in this country. Before, in schools, you used to be able to learn home economics and you used to be able to learn a trade. So you could go to school, you could learn a trade, men could learn a trade, and you could learn how to do welding or masonry and, that type of, and you could learn to do shop and woodworking and all that other stuff, right? Then you become an apprentice to somebody at a shop. What happened is we moved our production over to China. Nothing is produced in the United States anymore, so trade schools died. Remember when we used to see Apex Tech and those types of um, shows on TV? Right. I'm sorry, those types of advertisements on TV. But we no longer have those types of advertisements, right? And trade schools have really pretty much died in this country. And with that, died a lot of the types of jobs that men used to do in this country. So men were the ones when men were the only ones in school, because for most of the history of the United States, women were not allowed to go to school, right? They just were not allowed to go to school. And then once it opened up to women, educators quickly found out that women's cognitive ability surpasses that of men. And there are neuropsychologists that attest to this. Neuropsychologists, there's a professor by the name of Scott Galloway, and they attest to it. I did videos on this on the other page. I'm feeling sleepy. I was up. I woke up very early this morning. I was being grown and fresh and doing stuff I did not need to be doing. But so yeah, so I'm super tired. So yeah, Ray sends in $13 and says, best wishes to all participants. Ray, why don't you submit yourself? Uche sends $2 and says, how about a pre-recorded matchmaking show / premiere? That is an interesting idea. Pre-recorded, recorded behind the scenes, and then that way there's no distracting comments, and then it can be aired as a premiere. That's very interesting. So, so you know what? I can play some of the videos from the other channel. Let's see. All right. So here's the other channel here. And so here is the videos tab. And so there's a lot of videos on the other channel. This is the channel that the snippets are on. And so here's the neuropsychologist right here.
Ready to start eating healthier?
Let me just play this behind the scenes silently so that we can, because they're not going to get free advertisement in my video. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
created
here.
men just to carry genes.
Here. So we'll watch a little bit of this and then we will jump to the next video.
Should women run the world? Yes, but men are not going to get out of the way and let them do it. The earliest species on this planet were asexual. They reproduced by copying themselves. So here's my take on it. Women came first. Women created men just to carry genes, which is why the egg is so big. It has lots of other DNA in it besides the chromosomes, and the sperm is so small. It has nothing but the chromosomes. If you remember the size of the sperm to the egg, it's like the moon to the sun. Two eggs, through a process called atomopsis, which is an electrical process, can be fused together and actually make a species in lower organisms. Two sperm can't even go out for a beer together. So what's the deal? Women created men to carry extra genes for those.
You can go ahead and watch that on the other channel, which is Tonya TKO Clips. I'll put the link for us inside of the comments section. But this is the video. Where's the video with Galloway? Let's see if I can find his picture. It should be somewhere around here because I did these. Oh, here it is right here.
The most violent, unstable societies in the world, too many broke and lonely young men, and we are producing too many of them. A lot of the jobs that young men used to have as on-ramps into the middle class were generally industries that over-index male, manufacturing, frontline work. Those jobs have been outsourced overseas. In addition, once we leveled the playing field academically, women just blew by men. Women are more mature, they're more disciplined, they're better at delaying gratification. And over the next 5 years, we're going to have 2 women graduate from college from every 1 man. So what we have is an entire cohort of what I call emotionally and economically unviable men.
I want you all to just go to the other channel and watch some of those videos. All of the videos on that channel are profound. Those are the best of the best videos. www.youtube.com/@Tonya Clips. And go and subscribe to the other channel and watch some of the videos over there. The videos are amazing. And they are, let me take the comments back off of the screen. All right. So if you want to send a comment through, you could just send it through to the apples. So what next? Oh, phone lines. There we go. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. I'm looking to hear from you. If not, then we're going to jump off of here because we've been on for about an hour. We've told our story. We let you all know what it is that we need. We need commitment-ready men who are willing to come onto the show and be interviewed for the purposes of matchmaking, to see who it is that they are, what it is that they need, what they're looking for, what they have to offer, where their mindset is at, what type of husband or partner they'll make, and then we'll go from there. Listen, Ultimate, if you haven't seen that video, go over to the other channel and check the video out. It's an amazing video, and it needs to be heard. There's a lot in there that needs to be heard. Oh, so what else now? What else? Tomorrow is my boot camp day. So I'm going to You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. My name is Lisa. I'm calling from Virginia. I was just wondering, I was listening to you talking about doing the dating online. That seems to be rather interesting for those that would like to do it. And I appreciate you going the extra mile and doing the background check, because that do weed out a lot of, I want to say, people that are not interested or just trolling you or whatever. So I think that's a wonderful idea for those that want to date online. So I appreciate that you're doing that for people that are really interested in that. I really do. And that's what I wanted to say to you. Okay.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? The background checks really just let us know who the person is. It's a chance for a conversation. It's not an automatic disqualifier. It's a chance to converse and find out from the person what was this about? What went on? There's some things that, listen, like some of these stories that are going viral. I have invested in some of their background checks, right?
Oh, okay.
And from what it is that I see in some of these background checks, there's people out there with some problematic things in their past and their patterns. So when you start
Mm.
seeing men with, even something as small as a bunch of speeding tickets, even
Yep.
that is problematic because the police, this is how they find most criminals. They find most criminals on routine traffic stops, from
Yes,
people
they
who are
do.
breaking other laws, zooming
Hmm.
past stop signs, zooming through red lights, because there's a pattern of criminality. And so,
Hmm. And not only that, it also creates, when you get in a relationship with somebody, a financial bind, especially if you don't know, and it's repetitious over and over and over again. You know,
yeah,
it becomes
yeah.
problematic in the relationship. You be like, you've been doing, it's really bad, But for me, like I said, I'm glad that you're doing that for people that are interested. I'm just old school. I like the physical interaction myself, and I guess that comes from me being in a marriage and doing it till death do us part. And
Mm-hmm.
I like the physical part of that, going out dating and just hanging out with my friends and just getting to know people. Because since my husband been deceased, I've dated, but I've actually had a lot of friends. I've come in contact with men that are actually my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like, no, it ain't gonna work with us dating, but we be good as friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part I appreciate. With the men that I've come across. Because there's certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and you know what? Also, all of that type of dating, interacting, etc., is part of the culture of your generation.
Yes.
However, with cities getting bigger and bigger and people with, different schedules, especially with the amount of people working from home and partial work from
Yeah.
home and all of that other stuff, it really cuts down on the number of people who are really out there. And then the older we
Right.
get, the less adventurous we are. So, like, young people are always going out because their brains are wired to break away from the
Yeah.
pack. Anybody who has studied um, adolescent development knows that there's
Mhm.
wiring in the brain that sends young people out to break away from their clan and go out there into the
Mhm.
world and go and look to spread those genes. Otherwise, they just be at home sitting up with mama and papa and and just being a
Mhm.
kid forever. But that rebellious nature that young people have, it's part of the brain wiring and it's part of what has
Oh,
kept the species going on.
yes, Tanya, I agree with you on that. Oh, I have 8 grandchildren, and my oldest granddaughter, she's in the Navy. She's in boot camp now,
Mm,
and I'm just real grateful for my age and wisdom and knowledge and understanding that I could pass on to them, and showing them how things work. Because for some reason, young people believe more in what they see than what they hear. You know?
yeah, 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 that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of the things. And I remember when my husband died, I said, well, I'm going back to school for peer recovery specialist. So that also has helped me, like, in the dating field, talking to people, not really analyzing them, but the conversation and things we talk about. I'd be like, nah, that ain't gonna be good, Lisa. You might be all right for a friend, or somebody that
Yeah.
they need to talk like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, things like that do help you out in the dating world. It do me, Tanya. Let me just say, for me,
Mm-hmm.
it has helped me a lot, because I'm like, I could care less. I mean, I'm good. I had a love of my life. For 16 years he dead and gone. I'm good. I got grandchildren. I got enough to keep me happy. I'm good. Sometimes I go out with my friends, hey, Lisa, you want to go to the movie? Yeah, we go to the movies. We hang out. I may treat this time. No, you treated last time. I'll treat, as friends. And that's what we do as friends. But like you said, that's the older generation,
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
younger generation, I try to teach my grandchildren. And my husband, when he was alive, he used to take my granddaughters out on a date to
Yeah.
show them how a young man should treat them. And if he don't treat them like that, then you got money to come home. You can call. We come and get you. We got you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I appreciate, that's another thing that we get away from. And training our children, we got to give them the basics. Those are basic things that they need to know how they should be treated, what they should accept, and what they accept. A man, I hear him calling young ladies bees and all of that. Really? And y'all okay with that? Well, I
I
guess
mean, well,
so.
the
It's
young
in the
ladies are
song.
calling themselves bees.
And that's true, Tonya. And it's like, hey, if your mother didn't name you that, I don't even allow my grandchildren to allow people to pronounce their name wrong. Like my
Yeah.
oldest granddaughter, her name is Iavana, and they call her Ivana. I said, stop answering to that. That's not your name. Because
Yeah.
when you start answering to something that you weren't named, then they'll call you what they want to, and you be answering to that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And and it's okay to tell people, no, that's not how my name is pronounced. It's pronounced like this. That means that you set boundaries and you don't let people cross them. Don't never
Yes.
let nobody come across the boundary. Never.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what I
Absolutely.
try to teach them. But I'm real grateful for you, sweetie. I've been watching you quite a bit, and I'm just real grateful for you. You make it make sense.
Thank you. You're so
You make
sweet.
it
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
make sense. Yeah. So I really appreciate you, honey. Okay, and keep doing
All
what you're
right.
doing. Okay.
Thank you. Well, you have a great
All
evening.
right.
All right.
You too.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye. All right. So someone was asking about the background checks. You know what? I'm going to split the cost of the background check with you all on the next show or even in between the shows. Right, the background check is $99, right? And I'm going to cover the bulk of the cost. I'm going to give you all 66% off, and we're going to take the cost of the background check down to like $39, something like that, just so that we can get the flow going, right? So that's how we're going to do it. It's on my website, tanyatko.com. Click on the shop area. I'm also going to create a whole page for the Love TKO show. I am going to I'm going to Sapang says he's gonna sit it out. Why sit it out? Jump right on in. Ray has sent an apple through that says, for your true to the heart and soul efforts. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Why don't you want to get yourself matched, Ray? Are you not commitment ready? You know what I mean? Come, get yourself matched. And so you don't have to worry about what's in your background check. I mean, unless there's some inexplicable domestic violence or other types of, patterns of egregious criminality. But other than that, you don't have to worry about what's in your background check as long as we know what's there and you can answer. You know what I mean? And as long as we're going to be forthright so that the person that you're matching up with knows what's in there, both for both sides, men and women. You know what I mean? So for me personally, I think that I wouldn't feel comfortable matching anyone that has repeated domestic violence claims in their background check. I wouldn't, so that's my one thing right there. Like if you have a long history of repeated domestic violence offenses, I can't in good conscience do a match like that. But anything other than that, you know, even if it is street pharmaceuticals and all that other stuff, as long as as long as you're in a different place now and you have been able to grow and shift and create a new version of you, you know? So yeah, so that is that. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. There are a lot of men here tonight, and it's really interesting because when we were doing the shows, it didn't seem like there were that many men who were coming through for the shows, but there are a lot of men commenting tonight. So for the men, won't you submit for your background check? Come onto the love seat for next Monday. Next Monday, things should be back up in the swing. I was hoping that things would that there would be something that would really just kind of just fall into place yesterday, but it did not. A man on the weekend said women are asking too many questions these days. Yeah, women are asking a lot of questions. So you're on your live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from? Oh, you're gonna have to give your announcement again because I took your thing off the air. Hold on. All right. You're on your live
Okay.
with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Lady Tonya, it's me, Ray from Staten Island.
Are you from Staten Island? I did not know you were from Shaolin. How long have you been in
Born and
Shaolin?
raised.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. So welcome back onto the platform. So why don't you come onto the love seat, Ray?
Are you ready for my openness and transparency?
Yeah, sure.
You know, the one thing I've always said is that, I've never feared commitment. I've never I've never feared being in a relationship. I've always wanted to experience marriage, which I did. But the thing is, let's be realistic here, Lady Tanya. Uh, Financially, I'm not there. I hope to get there, but with health issues and all that other stuff, I'm just being realistic. I'm not totally ready, although emotionally and in other aspects, I am. So it's not that I don't want to be part of it. I'm just being realistic about my situation.
Oh, okay, okay. So what trajectory are you on right now? Are you in the career, or have you started your business, or are things kind of up in the air?
Right now, things are up in the air. I mean, the past couple of years, I've been dealing with health issues. I mean, I
Hmm.
told you about the surgeries I've had with my foot and stuff. So it's like I'm in the healing process.
Oh, wow. Are your feet still healing? That was like 2 years ago.
Well, I had surgery again recently in February, so I'm recovering. I got to learn how to walk again and stuff. So,
Was this from a
despite
bunion?
where, what'd you say?
Was this from a bunion?
No, no, it's not.
Oh.
I have diabetes type 2, and for some reason it causes ulcers under my feet that had to be surgically operated. So so it's like I'm out of commission for a lot of things. So, but at the same time,
Oh.
despite with how despite how commitment minded in my heart, mind, and soul is. It's not that I don't want to be match made. I'm realistic about my situation. I don't want to waste anybody's time.
I got you. I got you. And that's pretty noble of you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Because there's so many men who they just need that comfort of a woman. And so all else be damned. They just run full speed ahead. So, yeah. So I'm so sorry to hear that. So, how big were these ulcers that it stopped you from, that you have to learn how to rewalk? Did they have to like pull the skin, like sew it in like a catcher's mitt or something?
Well, no, the thing is, they had to go inside my foot and take out infections. So that's what that is,
So they
and it's
cut
very
meat
painful,
out?
Lady Sonia.
I
Huh?
bet. They cut meat out of your foot?
Well, on my left foot, I have no toes at all.
They amputated your toes?
Yeah, because it's that serious. So, so I that's why I say I'm in recovery mode.
Wow. I
Yeah,
I
it's that
once I
serious.
once knew a guy when I was in college. There was this guy. He got kicked out of school. His car was always broken. He was so bad lucky. When he got kicked out of
Mm,
school, he couldn't stay in his apartment, so he had to go back home. We got
hmm
word that when he went back home, he was trying to work for this landscaping company that someone in his family owned. Due
hmm
to some lawnmower accident, I'm telling you, you ever seen somebody that was just bad lucky? This guy was bad lucky. Due to some lawnmower accident, his pinky toe was chopped off and he had to
Ooh,
learn how to walk again just from the pinky toe being chopped off. And I was like, why do you
hmm
have to learn how to walk from just a pinky toe? But he was like, your whole balance and everything is off out of whack when you lose that pinky. Like the pinky is really important for gripping on the sides. And so when he lost his
right.
pinky toe, he had to learn how to rewalk again. And so
Yeah,
wait, Marcus is saying don't nobody need their toes anyway. Can you please educate
you
people
funny.
on what walking is like without toes? Because you need the toes to spring off of the ground and to pivot on
Well,
the
yeah.
side and stuff. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing. You see, it is very difficult to walk without toes because it's like when you if you don't learn how to walk properly, you're always gonna fall forward. So
Mm.
that's where physical therapy comes in, where they teach you how to walk the correct way so that you don't overpress, overstep. It's not
Mm.
something you take for granted.
Yeah. So what are they gonna do about you being able to spring? Because without toes, how are you able to even? Are you just going to be like waddling? Like,
No, no, well, it's a long process, Lady Tanya. And the thing is, what they eventually going to do is like when I wear a special type of footwear, they're going to have a piece that they attach to the top of my foot so that it can still fit comfortably into the special footwear. So
oh, okay.
it's just a matter of balance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a matter of making sure that even though my speed will be slow, it'll still be accurate.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, okay, okay. I see. So that means that now you got that decal where you can park wherever you want now? Is that how we doing it?
I have a driver's license. I don't drive though.
I'm talking about the decal that you put up in your window and you could park and you get VIP parking everywhere.
Oh, you funny. I don't have that though.
How come? You're supposed to get that, but what? How come you don't have that? You supposed to be in like Flynn now.
Hmm. Nah, just keeping it honest, Lady Tanya. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And then what about the other
But
foot? Do you have all of the toes on the other foot or some are missing?
yeah, yes, no, 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 no. My right foot is like 98% perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you about the diabetic ulcers. So from what it is that I heard, diabetic ulcers happen because of poor circulation. So can you feel it when the circulation just isn't happening? Do you have like those needles, pins and needles, or do you just not feel it and then
No, well,
you Mhm.
I have no, I don't have numbness. I have neuropathy, which is nerve pain. And
Oh.
when it came to those ulcers, yes, Lady Tanya, they hurt. It hurt real
Oh.
bad because the inflammation was real bad. And unfortunately, what happens to some people in my position is that it cuts off the circulation in certain limbs. In my case, the toes. So they had to do what
Mm.
they had to do. They did everything they could to save it, but.
Somebody says that you have to control your blood glucose. Did this happen because of blood glucose?
Yeah, it's a big contributing factor. And, I personally do not know what my specific number is supposed to be, but, there are times where it goes high, although not super high. And there are times where it gets super low, but for the most part, it is just right. It is in the hundreds for the most part.
How are you diabetic and you don't know what your glucose number is supposed to be?
No, well, I mean, no. Here's the thing. I know my A1C, which is the 3 month compilation, is supposed to be 5.5. As far as the individual glucose number, it just varies.
I mean, but
I just reached.
oh,
Huh?
okay. So glucose is different than insulin.
That's correct. Yes, the
Okay, because the
insulin
insulin is
is
what takes
what
the
they
glucose
in.
out.
Yeah. The
Okay.
insulin is what they inject to help stabilize the glucose.
Oh, okay. Somebody says that you can get the disabled placard so that when you're riding with someone, so that they can get the VIP parking.
I mean, yeah, I'll definitely look into it. But the thing is, it's like I barely ride with my friends who do have cars. We have something in New York called Accessoride that takes me to and from where I need to go, as long as it's in the five boroughs. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yes.
Oh, I've seen the vans. I didn't realize that was okay. So you don't even need to Uber. You don't need to do any of that. You just call up the accessoride. Got you.
That's correct. We call at least 1 or 2 days in advance.
There are people who are saying that your diet caused this issue. Is that true?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
You were eating fast
Because
food?
yeah, I did. I used to for many years, bro. I was eating junk and a lot of stuff, and I did take it for granted, from my youth to my mid 30s, and yeah, it did get the best of me. So yeah, it was poor eating habits that definitely contributed to me being diagnosed. I was diagnosed in 2014.
And then did you change your eating habits or did you continue them until it led to this?
No, I did change my eating habits at first. Then I did get lazy, and then once I rechanged, I stayed rechanged ever since.
Oh my gosh. There's a woman who is saying that if you had a woman, she would have changed your diet stat and that you wouldn't be in this situation. What? You were not dating? Weren't you married?
Yeah, I was married I was married in July 2001, and got happily divorced in November 2002.
Oh, so you were
So
only
you're
married
talking
for
over
a
20 years.
year. So when you were going through, this is Ray. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I just, it's just that men just don't seem to understand just how much, you know, we need one another. But
No, I know. I do understand, but at the same time, Lady Tanya, I'm not trying to be a liability to anyone either. So,
no, you wouldn't have become a liability if there were a woman there that would have stayed on you about your diet. Like, this is how men end up living longer. They live longer because, you know, their ladies are making sure that they go to the doctor. Oh my goodness. Making sure they go to the doctor, making sure they're getting their checkup, making sure that they're taking their medications and taking their health seriously and stuff. And it's like men just for some reason just are not doing it on their own. And now that I have an older parent, I see that, that it just I don't know. I just don't understand why men just. I just don't understand. I'm sorry about your toes, man. And I'm even
You know,
sorrier that this is something that could have been avoided.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it could have been if I wasn't a hard headed youth in that way, you know.
Youth, we're talking about 30. That's not youth. You're a
Yeah,
grown man.
but no, no, but the thing is, you have to understand that it's like this whole thing started when I was in my me not eating right consistently started when I was young. That's all I'm saying. And I've always owned up to my part in it, and I've always been trying to do better.
Yeah. When you say young, you mean, because you said this started in 2011, right?
No, 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 no. I said I got diagnosed in 2014.
Oh, you got diagnosed. But 2014 is like, that's 9 years ago. You were grown then.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing. By the time I had gotten diagnosed, it was already too late. It's like, even though I got officially diagnosed, who knows how long I've had it before then. 2014 was the official diagnosis.
And you didn't feel any physical symptoms, dryness of mouth, blurry vision, darkened patches on the face. You didn't see any of
The
that?
fu- the well, the funny thing is, a month before I got diagnosed, I felt like dizziness, extreme dizziness. That was about it. As far as other symptoms I was supposed to feel, I didn't.
Oh, all right. Well, you know what? It's really interesting that you and I are having this conversation because I put up a
Really now.
post on my Facebook page and I put up a post on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram about the journey that I went on my healing journey because during the pandemic I had become sedentary. I'm going to see if I could pull up the Instagram post. I want people to go and comment on it because when I first went on my healing journey, I didn't know this until I went and had my blood work run, but I had become pre-diabetic. So here's the post
Really?
that I'd become
Really?
pre-diabetic. So here's the post that I put up on my Instagram page, and it says, I shed 55 pounds in a year. So why are black people telling me I look sick? Question mark, question mark. And so I have up a picture from 2022 and I have up a picture from 2023. So this was me at 236 pounds. I was pre-diabetic, which I learned with my blood work, etc. And then so I went on my healing journey. I did a 30-day juice fast, and I was gone for a few months, right?
Hmm.
I was gone for a few months, and I did a lot of different internal healing and a lot of different things because I didn't even know. But within 30 days, my pre-diabetes had gone away just from doing the green juices and the no salt and the no flour, no processed food, just whole foods and salads and fresh live foods. And well, I wasn't even eating food. I was just doing the green juices, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so I don't know if I need the people that just so I just see a person has I put the comments back up on the screen and a person has come back to troll, so I just took the comments back off again. But nonetheless, so I
I'm
was
sorry
I
to
was
hear that.
pre-diabetic, right? And so within 30 days, I was no longer pre-diabetic. And then I just continued on the healing journey, and it's been a year. I've released 55 pounds. I've changed my life. And
Oh,
what is this? Yeah.
congratulations.
And so these are the comments. These are some of the comments that I've been receiving. Yo, I
Hmm.
don't like this woman, but somebody need to check on her. She look malnourished. And I'm like, which
What
part of
the
me
heck?
looks malnourished? Please be specific. And he's like, I can see your collarbone and your eyes are looking hollow, right? Then another
Yeah.
person is like, Tanya looks strange. Hope you're okay, though. And I'm like, you look strange. Hope you're okay. And she's like, I am, thanks. I mean, I can't be the only one that told you you're becoming a skeleton. And I was like,
Oh
LOL,
my
wait,
God.
what? I'm like, I'm becoming a skeleton? No, I have not heard that. So, no, I haven't heard that I've become a skeleton. Another person was like, you have a very bad attitude and just and are just cons- concerned cause you look sick. And the replies back are
Damn.
so unnecessary. Definitely shouldn't have a platform for social media. And then another person is like,
Wow.
Tanya TKO, are you ill? Equal concerned. And I'm like, no, are
Damn.
you ill? Equal concerned. And she's like, uh, thanks, you rock. And then she put up a picture of some toothless man over there.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
just like,
Wow.
I had to put up a post to find out, do I look like that people, cause I'm on this journey and I see myself each day, but I don't know how other people see me. You know what I mean? But for people to be like I look like a skeleton, I
Yeah, that's
I, I
crazy.
I'm 185 pounds. I'm
Right.
185 pounds. I weighed myself the other day. And I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, 185 pounds does not look large on me. So that's why when Kevin Samuels was hanging up on people who weigh 180, I was like, this man was a complete fraud, right? That man was a complete fraud, because weight looks different on different people. You know what I mean?
Yes, it
Like
does.
yeah,
Yes,
because this is me at 185 pounds. This is me, right? And
uh
people are saying I look like a skeleton. This is skeletal right here. This right here, skeletal in the skeletal. Hey.
not at all, because I'm fully aware of what you have back there. Ain't nothing skeletal about that. So, I know what people are talking about, and I'm sorry that, you didn't get the support you deserve from folks.
Well, these
I
are
just
just
feel
people
that
online.
if
I'm
they
not looking
can't
for
support
support
you,
from them, but sometimes I
yeah,
mean, if a whole bunch of people are saying I look like there's a problem, then I was just putting it out there for the people who do care about me to answer whether or not I look like I need concern. You know what I mean?
right. But
So,
I never thought you did. So I mean, as like again, I'm sorry that you went through that. But you know how it is. The type of world we live in, Lady Tanya. There's just people who do not know how to properly support and encourage. Chalk it up to ignorance.
yeah, well, I just to be quite frank, I don't need their support or encouragement, However, if I did look concerning, then I would want to know. You know what I mean? I would want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
just I just decided to ask people who cared about me, and so that's what I did. But yeah, go and comment on the post. I had put it up on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram, so you can go and
Okay.
just weigh in over there. But you know what? I appreciate you calling in and taking the time to reach out. It's so nice to be able to put, a voice and a story with the apples because you've been sending apples for a minute
Well,
and mhm.
I mean, you have to understand. I mean, if I didn't feel you were deserving of that consistent support, believe me, I wouldn't done it. I love how you empower ladies to be desirable ladies. You're one yourself, so that's
Mm.
my way of saying, thumbs up.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you for allowing me to speak, to be transparent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for being transparent. That's not easy for
Nope.
everyone, especially, publicly when people have so many different things to hide and feel that they have so many different things to lose. So,
Hmm. Well,
you
I've
know what I
learned
mean?
how to no longer be ashamed of the truth. So,
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 48. I'll be 49 on July 27th.
Oh, okay. So you got a birthday coming up in a few months. All right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, welcome. A happy birthday to you, and welcome back. I appreciate you touching base. Thank you.
my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Keep on
Bye-bye.
keeping on, okay, Lady Tonya?
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'll probably take one more phone call and then I'll jump out of here. Are there any other men or whatnot that need to come forward and say a quick hello? Um, so the if not, then we're just gonna jump out of here. We've been on for an hour and a half. We can just actually end the show here because we're working on finding men to come onto the love seat, right? We're working on finding we're working on finding men to come onto the love seat and and uh, get matched and answer some questions about their what makes them compatible and what they're looking for, etc. And then go from there. All right? And it's, it's especially on a show like this to oh man, men. There's so many issues among men. So many issues with the lack of self-awareness, etc. There's so many issues that men should be the first ones running to settle down. And unfortunately, they are they are not. They're one of the last to want to settle down. It's a very interesting phenomenon. Nonetheless, what is the self-love lesson that you learned from today's video? I'm going to jump out of here and she says Ray is so chivalrous. I want to be called Lady Tiffany now. How funny. I mean, Tiffany is such a ritzy name anyway. All right, so listen, I'm turning off the phone lines and I want to see what your self-love lessons are. On me, 180 pounds is not big. There's someone is saying 190 is big on 5'8". 185 is not even big on me, and I'm only 5'4". And it's not big on me. I don't know why it's not big on me. I don't know if it's the muscle or whatever, or the bone structure or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But so the self-love lesson, let me see what they're saying. Some believe they're never going to get, yeah, but you know what? But you don't want to get in relationships because you're afraid you're going to be ill. It's like you want to be in a relationship because you want to be in a union, not because you want to use someone for healthcare reminders and domestic duties. So look after your health. Lady Dior sounds so pretty. What's the self-love lessons? Oh, we got 1,000 comments on this stream. Do they care about living longer though, or more about having as much fun as they can for as long as they can? I think a lot of men nowadays, I don't know if this has always been the case, but I think a lot of men really just think about the here and now, about the pleasure of the now. Nurse with a purse. No, that wasn't the self-love lesson. All right. You know what? I'm ready to get out of here. Care for your body, love your body before loving anyone else. Yeah. Alchemist is saying your BMI. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually going to do a DEXA scan so that I could see which part of me is muscle, which part of me is fat, which part of me is, the joints and all that other stuff. stay true and stay strong for myself, my mission, passion in life. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, let me jump out of here. I'll see you all in the next video. All right, I appreciate all of you. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, the self-love lesson that I learned from today's video is about transparency even after failure, about not being self-conscious and asking for help even when it's embarrassing. You know, I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that the show flopped. Not flopped, but I'm embarrassed at how things went down. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that, you know, I started a venture and that the venture has been difficult. And I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. So coming out and asking you all for help, looking in your phone books and just admitting, you know, we're coming out tonight without a show and a guy on the love seat and having failed my endeavor. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm a little embarrassed. Oh, there's some apples that have come in. Marsh sends $5 and says, "Bust the wine next time." You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. And Ray sends $13 more and says, "Me showing gratitude." You're so sweet. I appreciate that, Ray. Thank you. I appreciate that. Super Honey is saying 200. I'm 5'3". Is that too heavy to carry? You know, that is a lot of weight. Go to your doctor and look at your blood work, your cholesterol levels, your glucose panel, your A1C. Look at your vitamin D levels, look at all of the information. No one can tell you from the outside what is what until they see what's on the inside. You know what I mean? And then you may not be able to see it because when I was in my 236-pound body, when I was in that body on the left, I did not see that my face was so full. I did not see that, you know, parts of my skin were dull. I didn't see that. You know, my skin is clear and beautiful, yes, but there were things that I just didn't see. And so I can imagine that there are probably some things that you are not seeing at 5'3", 200 pounds, unless you're just solid muscle. And even then, that's a lot of weight to be carrying on your joints, etc. But talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. Like a vlogger online hollering things out in his darkened basement is not the way to go. You know what I mean? Talk to your doctor, see what's happening inside, because the blood work, the blood panels, those things are going to let you know what is what. You know what I mean? You can also do body mass scans as well. And there are also tests that you can do to see how well your heart is pumping oxygen through your body, how well your body is metabolizing the oxygen. They put a face mask on you and you run on a treadmill. Some of us have seen these in movies, but these are real things. You can go and you can see so that you can know what to work on and how. You know what I mean? Marcus is saying, "You haven't failed, Tonya, just a minor setback. You are very industrious. You will come back with a better show. You always level up." Yeah, I feel you. 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 I think I definitely failed at reaching my goal. The show failed in its original conception. But this is and it's okay for me to admit that I failed. And that's okay. It's not a slight. I'm not sad about. I'm sad that things didn't go smoothly. However, I understand that failure is a part of success. And part of the reason that I showed you all my nude photo is because I wanted you all to know that there are ways that you can do things and pivot from an original, like something that just went wrong, right? From And so I see psychedelic is saying you didn't do anything wrong. And you know what? I don't know what I think I don't know what people are hearing when they hear me say that that I failed. So I'm okay, and I don't feel that I did anything wrong. I feel that I failed. I am embarrassed to have had to ask for help. And I don't want anybody giving me advice that you ain't taking. Cause psychedelic, you seem like the type of person who doesn't ask for help as well. A lot of us Black people don't ask for help. You know what I mean? But my self-love lesson is to ask for help, to when you need it, to not be embarrassed, to put it out there, put the truth out there, and push forward. You know, I'm opening up about my self-love lesson not because I need a pep talk. I'm not in shambles. I know and listen, and you never know what something might become. You know what I mean? You never know what something might become. So I feel embarrassed, but I don't feel shame. I think the difference between I think there's I mean, I forget what it is, shame and something. Sh- um I I did bad versus I am bad. I do not think I'm bad. I do not think that I did anything wrong. I just feel that it failed. I feel that in its original iteration it failed. And I know that people are watching, and there were people who expected it to fail, and there were people who do not feel that there's enough eligible men out there, and I want to prove them wrong. I want to prove them wrong. I want to prove them wrong. So on that note, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for coming out. I want to prove them wrong. I want to get people matched. I want us to be able to not just be here talking about what's wrong in relationship, but interacting with people who are good matches, people who are ready for commitment and ready to meet other people on the journey and commit. I want you all to be able to have amazing love stories, and I want you all to be able to get together. Lisa is saying, I've learned a closed mouth never gets fed. I need help. I'm reaching out. Shame and guilt. Okay, yes. Guilt is, shame is I did bad. Guilt is I am bad. So yeah, so I don't feel any guilt. Listen, I'm proud of the platform that I built. There's a lot of people who say a lot of different things about my platform, but the people who are saying it haven't built the platform with the reach of my platform, with the network of my platform. We are doing amazing things over here. The text notification squad is innovative in and of itself. You know what I mean? Could things be better? Yes, but it takes an honest assessment. This is why we need to be able to look inside and be like, okay, well, I failed at this. If I was not willing to admit that it failed, then I can't pivot. If I'm like, oh, this is working. No, I was able to admit that it failed, right? I was able to admit that it failed, and from there be able to pivot, right? You know what I mean? So I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out and participating in the show. Thank you all so very, very much. I appreciate you all. So Lisa says, yes, you are. Success is happening. So yeah, so on that note, I'm going to let you all go. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO. And I am out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is opening up your mouth when you need help, allowing people to help you without feeling embarrassed. I felt some embarrassment about coming forward, but once I came out, once I got into the stride of it, the embarrassment really just kind of floated away. I realized that this is life, this is the journey, and it's just I'm not going to spend time wasting on regret and all that other stuff. I'm just going to continue to move forward. I will see you all next Monday with the next Love TKO show with a man on the hot seat. submit your men for me. Come to my website, TonyaTKO.com. Click on contact and submit a guy. Submit yourself. And he does not have to be black, just between the ages of 30 and 60. He can be any race, any nation, well, American. We're matching in America. All right. So I will see you all in the next video.